Welcome to This Explainer. Okay, today we are going to completely rethink what it actually means to sell. Let's be honest, for a lot of us, sales kind of feels like a dirty word, right? It brings up these awful images of pushy tactics, high-pressure environments, and manipulative hard sell strategies that, honestly, usually just end up failing and leaving everyone feeling super uncomfortable. But what if we could completely dismantle that old-school approach? Today, we're going to build a modern, ethical sales strategy that actually solves problems, helps people, and naturally grows your business, without literally ever forcing a product on anyone.
So what if the absolute best way to sell more wasn't talking more, but actually listening better? It's a pretty provocative question, isn't it? Traditional selling has almost always relied on the smooth-talking monologue. The salesperson just talks and talks, desperately trying to force a product into the hands of the buyer. But modern selling? It flips that entirely on its head. It's a dialogue built completely around understanding the customer. Because here's the thing, better sales skills mean better income, better business growth, and better career opportunities. And the secret to unlocking all of that magic starts right here, talking way less and listening much, much more.
All right, here is our roadmap for this explainer. We'll be hitting 1. The modern sales paradigm. 2. The psychology of buying. 3. Mastering the sales conversation. 4. Value, story, and objections. 5. The ethical close. And finally, 6. Your action plan.
Let's jump right into Section 1, the modern sales paradigm, problem solving over pushing.
The absolute foundation of this entire explainer is understanding this one key definition. Modern selling is the process of solving customer problems and facilitating better decisions rather than forcing products. It's really not about manipulation. It's about helping someone who genuinely needs your solution to achieve a specific outcome. Seriously, if you go into a conversation just trying to pitch a product, you've already lost. But if you enter that conversation aiming to actually solve a problem and help them make a better decision, you instantly transform from a predator into a trusted partner.
Moving right along to Section 2, the psychology of buying, why we say yes.
Before we look at exactly how to sell, we have to examine the psychology behind why people actually decide to buy in the first place. There's a real tension here. On one side, we have deep, emotional drivers, things like trust, the fear of loss, a desire for improvement or status. But then, on the other side, we have logical justifications, like risk reduction, convenience, and money saved. This brilliantly illustrates how we human beings actually operate. Customers almost always make their decisions based on those emotional drivers first, and then they immediately reach for the logical points to justify what they've just decided to do. If your pitch only hits the logic, you're entirely missing the engine that actually drives the decision.
All right, Section 3, mastering the sales conversation, discovery, and trust.
Let's explore how to navigate a real interaction, starting long before you ever bring up a product. The crucial rule here is that you should never, ever interrogate your prospect. Instead, you want to use powerful, open-ended discovery questions to organically reveal their pain points. Try questions like, what is your biggest challenge right now? Or, what happens if this continues? Or, what would an ideal solution look like? These force the customer to reflect on their own situation. Instead of you lecturing them about their problems, they are realizing it themselves through your guidance. It builds incredible, authentic trust because it shows you actually care about their goals.
And when they answer those questions, you have to apply this absolutely crucial mantra. Don't listen to reply, listen to understand. We've all been trapped in a conversation where the other person is just staring blankly, clearly just waiting for their turn to speak. Don't be that salesperson. Actively listen, take notes, repeat important points back to confirm your understanding. And actually, never, ever plan your next pitch while they're speaking.
Let's head into Section 4, value, story, and objections, bridging the gap.
When you're speaking about what you're selling, remember this. Customers do not buy features, they buy results. Let's look at this evolution. The feature is that your software automates reports. Okay, that's a fact. The benefit is that the user spends less time creating reports. That's better. But the result, the real human outcome, is that they can focus more time on actually growing their business. Whenever you talk about your product, you have to connect every single feature to a highly valuable, real-world result just like that. And to make that value truly stick in their mind, you need to use stories. Human beings are literally wired for storytelling. So, walk your customer through this simple 4-step storytelling framework: problem, struggle, solution, and result.
You can use authentic case studies, customer success stories, or before and after examples. When a customer hears a story about someone just like them who faced the same problem, struggled, found your solution, and got a fantastic result, the value of what you're selling just instantly clicks. Just be sure to always keep it real, avoid fake testimonials for sure. Now, of course, even with a great story, you are going to face objections. When a customer says something like, it's too expensive, or now just isn't the right time, remember that an objection is not a rejection. It's an opportunity. Just use these 5 steps. First, listen to the whole objection. Second, acknowledge it without arguing. Third, clarify what they really mean. Fourth, respond by demonstrating value, like time or money saved. And fifth, confirm that you've resolved their concern. Bam! You just turned a roadblock into a bridge.
Okay, Section 5, the ethical close, earning the yes. Let's tackle how to secure the deal without feeling sleazy.
A huge part of closing a sale is urgency, but there is a massive difference between ethical urgency and gross manipulation. Highlighting real deadlines, genuine price changes, or real limited availability, that is ethical urgency. It actually helps the customer make a timely choice. But fake scarcity, dishonest pressure, and exaggerated claims? No way. That is pure manipulation, and it will instantly destroy all the trust you've worked so hard to build. Keep it real always.
Mastering the close simply means adopting the right phrasing to naturally guide the customer based on your specific conversation. If you've done everything right so far, closing shouldn't feel like a massive leap. It should just feel like the obvious next step. You can use an assumptive close, like which option works better for you, or an alternative choice, asking would you prefer basic or premium? Or honestly, sometimes just a simple direct close is best. Would you like to move forward?
Now, if they don't buy immediately, hey, that is perfectly okay. You just need a follow-up sequence. But please, whatever you do not annoy them by repeatedly sending messages that say, just checking in. Instead, use a structured sequence. Start with your first follow-up, then send a value-based follow-up like a helpful case study, then do an objection follow-up to gently address any lingering fears, and finally, a respectful final check-in. Always follow up by being helpful, not by being a nuisance.
Which brings us to Section 6, your action plan, putting it into practice.
Let's synthesize everything we've talked about into the RDL-PHCF sales framework. It maps the whole chronological life cycle of a successful modern sales conversation. First, you build genuine rapport. Then, you discover the problem. You listen carefully to understand it. You present your solution based on their needs. You handle objections respectfully. You ethically close the deal, and you follow up. It's that simple. If you ever feel lost while talking to a prospect, just figure out where you are on this list so you never lose your place.
To really put this into practice today, I want you to take on this targeted 7-day sales challenge. Don't try to learn everything at once. Day 1, learn your product deeply. Day 2, research your ideal customer and their pain points. Day 3, practice those open-ended discovery questions. Day 4, master active listening. Day 5, practice objection handling. Day 6, practice your close. And Day 7, review and improve. Isolate just one specific skill each day until the whole shebang becomes absolute second nature.
Ultimately, developing a successful sales mindset requires patience, resilience, and incredible empathy. You really need to internalize this quote. Your job is not to convince everyone. Your job is to find people who genuinely need your solution. If you can accept that, all the pressure just disappears. You stop forcing things, and you start actually helping people.
Because at the end of the day, great salespeople don't pressure people into buying. They understand problems, they communicate value, they build trust, and they help customers make better decisions. Thank you so much for joining us for this explainer. If you found this valuable, please like, subscribe, and share this with someone who's looking to level up their own skills. And before you go, leave a comment below. What is your own biggest sales challenge right now? We'll see you next time.